Alright, fellow Wildcatters of RC groups, members of the Wildcat Squadron, the illustrious, the famed Wildcat Squadron, and perhaps folks who are looking at the Wildcat. You're going to have to buy them used or find them somewhere because they have discontinued the model. This is what I call Wild Kitty. This is Fox 8. I have to number them. I've got a few of them. And that's Kitty in there. That's Kitty in there. So this will be a little bit of a tutorial. So we're going to fly the Wildcat, but we're going to turn the box on first. She's going to initialize. We have Wildcat 3 in there. We got 5 minutes. Good to go. Box always goes on first. Check your battery. I'd recommend you check your battery. And we're at 99%. So we're good there. So, battery goes in. And initializes. Alright. I always cover the throttle. Just to be careful. Left aileron goes up, right aileron goes down. Right aileron goes up. So left is left, right is right. Up, down. Self-explanatory. Left, right. Self-explanatory. It's usually the ailerons that gets newer pilots. Usually the ailerons. Which way do they go? How's it supposed to work? And unfortunately they take off and they stuff the model because the ailerons were reversed. Just remember that when you move the stick to the left aileron should go up. Left is left, right is right. Okay, we're gonna look at the wind and we're gonna take off into the wind. Always take off into the wind. By half throttle, about 60% throttle, let her stabilize and throw her. And away she goes. Nice gentle climb out, scale climb out, get plenty of speed, get her in the turn. Increase the throttle just a little bit, but yeah, we got a lot of altitude because we have a halfway decent wind, and so I throttled back down to about 50%. And as we fly her around, I'm gonna talk a little. Try not to talk your poor little ears off, but I'm gonna talk a little about what we're doing. There's a lot of younger pilots out there, so we're going to look here at how we're doing some of these maneuvers. Okay, so first off, you always look at the wind, and you'll see me glancing around. I'll glance down at my box to see what kind of time I have. I'll glance over at the wind flag. But okay, so I'm going to line up. We're going to do a loop. And we got to talk a little bit about this loop here, what we're doing. So first off, you always want to enter the loop, and I'm going to reset here. You always want to enter the loop, wings level, and with this particular model, you want to go full throttle. And for some weird reason, and I don't know what it is, I was like coming out of a left turn, I don't know what it is. So I got to come into her left. All right, I'm going to go down a little bit, wings level. I'm lining up. We're now going full throttle. I got a little bit of a down pressure right now in the elevator. I'm full throttle, and we're pulling up into the wind. She's going to pull up, and I'm going to crack the throttle down a little bit over the top. And now I'm almost zero throttle. Right when I got to the bottom of the loop, and notice I ended the loop at about the same altitude I started at, and that's what you want. You do that by letting off the up pressure on the elevator. And she's gonna wing by after her loop. There she goes. The other thing you want to look at, and let me explain something real quick. The reason why you go down to about half throttle on the loop is because you don't want to overstress the frame, at least on a real aircraft anyways, and ostensibly a model as well. You don't want to overstress the frame, so you go down about half throttle, and by the time I reach the bottom of the loop, I'm almost all the way off the throttle. But I also let off the pressure on the up elevator, which allows the plane to come out of the loop because I built up enough kinetic energy on the back end, on the downward leg of the loop. I built up enough kinetic energy where I don't need the throttle, and I can actually let off the elevator and she'll level out on the bottom end. If any of that makes sense. If any of what I just said makes sense. All right, we're going to do a aileron roll. So there's a loop. So we're going to go ahead and line up for an aileron roll. So, what's an aileron roll? Aileron roll is a traditional maneuver. Fighters call it a victory roll. You're going to come in, about 80% throttle. I'm going to pitch the nose up and heel her on over with the ailerons only. And as she came down the back end, you'll notice I throttled down a little bit, just like I did on the loop. You'll also notice another thing. I pitched the nose up, brought the aircraft over using left aileron. She was about level as she was inverted over the top, and then she finished pointing slightly down. That is a proper aileron roll. Fighters, everyone always talks in the groups and all over the place, they're axial rolling. No, they're not. Fighters don't roll axially, and if you look at any old World War II videos of aircraft doing victory rolls, etc., they didn't roll in an axial fashion. They had to pitch the nose up a little bit to start their victory roll, their aileron roll, and went that route. Now, we're going to combine the two before we land real quick here. We're going to combine the two, and we're going to give it a reverse half Cuban, probably one of the most graceful fighter maneuvers out there. It is a combination of an aileron roll and a loop. So here we go. So we enter with plenty of speed, full throttle, about a 45-degree upline, and we go inverted, and we throttle back, and we let the aircraft come on down the back end. And that is a reverse half Cuban. So the aircraft took a 45-degree upline. I inverted on the upline, and there's my timer. Time to land. I inverted on the upline. I throttled back while simultaneously pulling a little bit of up elevator, a little bit, a smidgen. And the aircraft came on down the back side, and as I came on down the back side of the maneuver, I continued to throttle back ever so slightly and tried to keep the back end nice and round. Okay, we're setting up over our pond here. We're doing our pond approach. Okay, wings level, throttle, bleeding off throttle, bleeding off speed, and now we're going to come in, wings level, and it doesn't get any better than that. Sometimes the wind is our friend. And yes, a lot of times, if I can, I like to drag that tail wheel a little bit. It's kind of fun. See, it's a little... I like to kind of come on in and have fun. Okay, the throttle's covered. Throttle's covered, and we're going to walk on back and we're going to check our battery. The throttle is covered, so you don't get these. Yeah. Yeah, it happens. Okay. Let's see what we got. This is a pretty good battery. This is a little E-Flight 20C. I think it's a 1250. And what's it going to be? 40%? Dang, 55%. Ladies and gentlemen, 56%. All right, very good. Well, once again, Kitty says, thanks for watching.